Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Thank you for your time today. We are from Group 4B and we will be discussing a case study on poisoning incident that occurred in palm oil plantation in Johor on September 2, 2007. My name is NURULSAFIKA, and before we begin our presentation, I would like to introduce my teammates. We have Ain Nazifa, Siti Aisyah, ALIA SOFIAH, HAIFA WAHIDA, and Aina Syafiqah. Alright, I will start the presentation with a brief introduction about the palm oil industry in Malaysia. Since the 1910s, Malaysia's palm oil industry has grown significantly, becoming a key industry and meeting global demand in food, cosmetics, animal feed, bioenergy, and more. Malaysia now has 4.49 million hectares of palm oil plantation, producing 17.73 million tons of palm oil and 2.13 million tons of palm kernel oil. Despite its success, the industry faces various hazards. Workers are at risk of musculoskeletal disorder, mechanical injury, psychological issue, and infectious disease. This case study highlights two workers who suffered pesticide poisoning from drug injection activity. So basically, the drug injection activity comprises three tasks, which are drilling a hole, injecting pesticide, and sealing the hole. The pesticide used for backward removal was methamphetamine, which classified as a Class LB pesticide by the Pesticide Board. It is a potent acetylcholinesterase inhibitor and highly toxic. Our team has conducted a risk analysis based on this case and identified several issues associated with the poisoning incidents. This includes safety protocol concern, PPE issue, chemical safety data issue, and workers' habit itself. Our team uses a HYGIENE method in conducting risk assessment on this poisoning incident. HYGIENE consists of three main components, which are hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. Alright, this is our HYGIENE table, which represents our finding on the risk analysis of the drug injection activity. Now, I will hand it over to the next presenter who will explain this table in detail.
Now we will discuss the hazard that the workers face based on this risk analysis worksheet. The first activity involved in trunk injection of the palm oil plantation is a drilling of the tree trunk. The workers are exposed to the issues such as the wood dust and the exposure to noise from motorized driller. The consequences of this matter are that the health of worker is at danger. Breathing problem and lung disorder include occupational asthma and lung cancer may occur. With a likelihood rate at level 4 and severity at 3, resulting risk of 12 show the medium level of exposure. To combat this, it is imperative to provide adequate personal protective equipment such as gloves and masks, coupled with thorough training on their usage. While for the noise exposure, workers run the risk of injury their eardrum and may have problems like potential hearing loss. The likelihood and severity for noise exposure show the same rating with the exposure to wood dust, which is the risk state at level 12, which is at medium risk. Action can be done is a provide ear protection or earplug, training or proper use of drilling equipment, and also doing regular maintenance on the drilling equipment to minimize the noise. So next activity, which is the injection pesticide in the trunk. The potential harm that might affect the workers such as severe chemical poisoning, for example, headache, vomiting, respiratory distress. The risk analysis result present grave risk with a high likelihood and severity rating of 5.8, resulting in a risk score of 25. To address this risk, comprehensive measures such as providing full protective gear including respiratory, detailed training on handling injection equipment, and strict regular monitoring for PPE compliance are very crucial. So let's discuss the activity of sealing the hole. For this task, workers are exposed to pesticide through contact with soil and inhalation of residue, leading to skin irritation and absorption of pesticide through the skin. The risk assessment has identified this as a medium risk with rating of 12. To mitigate this, we recommend the following control. First is provide glove and protective clothing. Second, training workers in proper sealing procedure. Third, use tool to minimize the direct contact.
The other activity involved in trunk injection of the palm oil plantation is the general work practice that includes many issues about it. One of the issues is inadequate training. The lack of proper training poses a high risk with a risk rating of 16. This increases the likelihood of chemical exposure and poisoning due to improper handling. Although management claims that training has been provided, there are no records to verify this. To address this issue, we propose conduct thorough training sessions These sessions should cover chemical hazards, safety procedures, and proper use of personal protective equipment (PPE). Regularly update training materials. Keeping training materials will ensure that workers are always informed about the latest safety procedures. Next issue is the inadequate use of personal protective equipment that results in a high risk of health effects from exposure to hazards such as pesticide and dust with a risk rating of 16. To mitigate this risk, we recommend provide proper personal protective equipment. This includes gloves, masks, ear protection, and protective clothing to shield workers from hazardous exposures. Immediate implementation of proper PPE is essential for safeguarding worker health. Furthermore, lack of accessible chemical safety data sheet can result in unsafe chemical handling. Ensuring that chemical safety data sheets are available and providing comprehensive information on PPE and handling procedures are vital for safe practice. Not to forget, eating and smoking without washing hands also can lead to ingestion of pesticide residue, causing severe poisoning. Enforcing strict hygiene protocols, providing hand washing facilities, and educating workers about the risk of chemical ingestion are necessary preventive measures. Last but not least, inadequate supervision and lack of knowledge about PPE usage increase the risk of chemical exposure. Supervisors must be trained on safety protocols and the correct use of personal protective equipment. Hiring competent supervisors and conducting regular safety audits and inspections are critical to ensure effective supervision.
In conclusion, the poisoning incident at Johor Palm Oil Plantation highlight the critical need for comprehensive HYGIENE program. We identified methamphetamine as a major hazard and found significant gaps in PPE use and safe work practices. The risk assessment revealed severe health risks from current practices. To fix this problem, we suggest mandatory training on chemical safety, proper PPE use, regular health checks, and stricter safety protocols. This measure will help to reduce the risk of poisoning and improve worker safety. This case shows how important is it to have a good health and safety measure in palm oil industry to protect workers and ensure safe operations.